started shaping my own boards because I always felt surfing was a pretty individual thing, and I just wanted to be able to make boards for the way I wanted to go out and go surfing.
I saw your father in the hall, his ghost is living in the wall.
To be able to go out there and ride something I've built myself with my own two hands in my own backyard, no one has a board like that, no one's ever going to surf it the same way. I just felt that was the way I wanted to go surfing, and that was the way I wanted to enjoy riding waves.
Living on the east coast of Australia as a surfer definitely has pluses and minuses. It's a great place to live, and it's great to be part of a surfing community like that. But you know, it's often crowded and it's often small, and it does really give you the incentive sometimes to go out and look for something new.
You can always pay to go and surf waves if you want to. You can always pay to go to Indonesia and go to a surf camp, or go to a yacht charter in the Mentawais, or go to Bali, but it's never going to really replace the real spirit of travel and being able to go and look for waves and feel like you're the first person to find somewhere, or you're the first person to surf a wave. Commercial surf travel exists and it's great for the world we live in, but it's never really going to replace that feeling you get when you're the first person to paddle out of a spot.
Growing up as twins, we always wanted to do things our own way, but surfing was that one thing we always did together. So when this idea came up about a trip to Africa, you know, it was good to have someone there who you know is going to have your back if things start to go wrong. Because we really didn't know what to expect. We sort of tried to plan as much as we could, and we had an idea of a few of the surf spots we wanted to try and find, but in the end it just became, well, we'll go to Morocco and start driving south and then see what happens.
Sleep beneath your floor, and my ghost just tries to keep you warm. I've seen the end, I've lost the war, and one day you'll join me here just like the rest. I hear the engines.
I think there are very few places in the world where people don't surf. You think about Australia, America, South America, Europe. People surf everywhere. People surf in Japan, people surf in Ireland. There aren't many places in the world where no one's gone and looked for surf before. West Africa was the place where we really thought, you know, if we want to find new ways, if we really want to explore, that's where we need to go.
Years I held this limp and hobbled round here like a dog. Then in comfort she arrived. Temperament and wisdom I ain't seen around my parts. She took my hand, then she sighed a long goodnight.
The west coast of Africa is such a unique coastline just because of the sheer length of it. You get these amazing contrasts in landscape and in culture. Like when we first drove into the Sahara, the desert just seemed so vast and endless, but really that was just the beginning. When we were planning the trip on the map back home and trying to figure out how far we'd have to go, it looked like we'd have 30,000 Ks on the odometer by the time we got to the end. And as the crow flies, it's nowhere near that far, but by the time you take into account every bend in the road and every bay and headland that you plan to explore, this concept comes up of how you actually measure a coastline. It's as if it's almost infinite. Tagazout in Morocco is definitely a focus point for surfing in this part of the world. It's really the only place where something kind of like a surf culture actually exists. It's been on the map for surfers for a while, since the 70s, especially people coming down from Europe. But even now it's still not really much more than a sleepy little fishing village.
When I was just a boy still out alive, I liked to drink the rain to taste the sky. I tried to count the stars while in my bed, to keep the thoughts of monsters from my head. And I believe the stars were wishes, I believe the world was good, I believe things hid in the dark and that all would turn out just how it should. I believed in all your stories, I believe you'd never lie, and I believed if I could climb the trees behind the house, I'd touch the sky.
A lot of people who go to Morocco for surfing, book a trip for 2 weeks and might only surf 1 or 2 spots, but there's a massive amount out there if you're just willing to make a bit of effort and go and look for it. We were surprised, how much we could find.
Baby it's alright. We'll be in Lisbon by morning light. Tides of men were taken at the flood. Leads on them to fortune and to blood. The trees in glowing silhouette. We may take some time to forget, but it's alright. We'll be in Lisbon by morning light. In a godlike youth we hide, all proud and starry-eyed. Then you took a photograph and pressed your face against the glass and just watched it all go past. Road goes west, my shoulder rests your head. Thought it best, something's been left unsaid. The house is framed in evening gray. The timing just got in the way, but it's alright. We'll be in Lisbon by morning light. In godlike youth we hide, all proud and starry-eyed. Then you took a photograph, pressed your face against the glass and just watched it all apart. In godlike youth we hide, yeah, yeah, all proud and starry-eyed. Then you took a photograph, pressed your face against the glass and just watched it all go past.
Control of Western Sahara has been under dispute since Spain pulled out back in the 70s. Morocco administers it and claims to own it, but that control isn't really recognised by anyone else.
I mean, it's not often you get to go to a place that's still been disputed by two armies for over 30 years. There's only peace there because there's a UN peacekeeping force, and, you know, at both borders there's the Moroccan army and the Mauritanian army who are still ready to go to war with each other. And you really are in a state of uneasy peace there.
Out in the desert, along the coast, the Tuareg and the Berbers, the people have always been there. They're living there the same way that they had for who knows how long, and you know, concepts like nationalism don't mean anything to them. They don't care whether they're Spanish or French or Moroccan or independent. You know, they have their own traditions and their own history, which doesn't have anything to do with that. You cross the Senegal River from Mauritania, and it's a very distinct change. You leave the Sahara behind, you leave the desert behind, and now you're in the savannah and the grassland. And as that landscape changes, the culture changes and the people change as well. It feels like you're leaving Arabia behind, and now you're really in Africa. There's still Muslims in Senegal, but it's a very different take on Islam. It's much more liberal. All of a sudden, the streets are full of women, which you don't see much in Morocco or in the rest of North Africa. There's music playing everywhere and a real vibrancy to the culture.
Going to Dakar and being in Senegal was pretty amazing. After that many months in the desert and crossing the Atlas Mountains and crossing the Sahara, and you go so many weeks and months of seeing no one, and then being in one of the biggest, busiest cities in West Africa with so many million people was a bit of a change of pace. But even in such a busy place, there's still waves, there's still reef breaks right in the middle of town that are as good as some places you'll surf in Indonesia, but no one there surfs, no one's even heard of surfing. When we drove from Guinea through the mountains and through the forest into Liberia, we didn't really know what we were getting into. We'd heard stories of the Civil War, and we knew the war was over and knew UN peacekeepers were there, but we didn't quite know what we were going to find. But once we were there, you know, the locals were so happy to have us there and so happy to have foreigners come to visit their country that they just made the whole stay pretty interesting for us. It's definitely somewhere I'd like to go back to.
you see how they're trying to pick up the pieces. There's kids who are 25 years old and just starting out 7th grade because there was no such thing as school here for 15 years. You just hope now that it's all over they can finally start getting on with their lives.
think of all the places that we travelled, nowhere was more challenging than Angola. I think the language barrier was so much worse than we expected, and the borders and the police and the military checkpoints and the roads, that was definitely one of the most difficult experiences we had the whole trip.
Angola was so different to anywhere we'd ever been before. It's just like another planet. It definitely wasn't an easy place to travel to. You see these quiet little fishing villages on the coast, and you have to wonder what these people have been through. They must have seen some pretty heavy things, but it seems quite peaceful now. It's kind of like the end of an era in Africa where there was so much conflict in so many countries for such a long time. It's like everyone's getting sick of fighting each other now. Hopefully it can stay that way.
Your absent pride is dissonant to all you hide. Oh, I tried, it's so fine, but you've gone so far. Bring it back, back to the start, back to the start. And it breaks my heart, breaks my heart. Bring it back, back to the start, back to the start. And it breaks my heart, breaks my
Once we left Angola and headed south into Namibia, the seasons had changed to winter in southern Africa, and we went from some of the hottest, most humid conditions that you could really conceive to being basically in the middle of the Kalahari, and it was getting into winter and temperatures were starting to get below zero at night. leaving the jungle, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of one of the world's biggest deserts, one of the driest places on earth, just sand dunes that would just go from horizon to horizon, and days and nights of driving, not seeing a soul and not seeing anything but dunes and dunes.
In between every day, what were your dreams about?
And then finally getting to the ocean, that was a bit of a change from the Africa that we'd spent the last 6 months in. It was a real change of scenery for us.
That didn't seem so far off. Brought you. Rising sun, in the west when day is done, in a far distant land, through the heat of desert sand. And that's how far you'll have to go to find me. That's how far you'll have to go to find me. The glow of the fire on the wings of desire, where the earth meets the sea, into divine comedy where the roads intertwine through the cold winter time. That's how far you'll have to go to find me. That's how far you'll have to go to find me.
When we went to South Africa, we were prepared to meet other surfers, but what we didn't realise is the surfing population in South Africa is pretty small, and South Africa itself is pretty big. That whole west coast from the Namib border all the way down to Cape Town, there's thousands and thousands of miles of coast and hundreds of beaches and hundreds of points, and very, very few people who surf. So there's a lot of exploring still to be done there, and even in the weeks and months that we spent driving that coast, we only really scratched the surface of what's there.
South Africa felt like coming home, kind of. There's a lot of similarities between Australia and South Africa, especially the mindset of the people. It is a country that has its problems, the inequality, the crime, but it really is a stunning place and a positive place because everyone in South Africa is proud to be African, to be the country that Africa looks to as a leader. Because the future of Africa and the solutions to Africa's problems are in Africa, I think. Western ideas and Western influence aren't always that helpful. But there's enough wealth in that continent and enough good in that continent for things to go forward. It's just a matter of finding the right direction to go in.
Talking so fast about the reasons why I can't leave. So how long will I wait? Oh, how long will I wait? Oh, how long will I wait? How long will I wait? 2, 3, 4.
Sometimes it's not till you get back home that what this experience means starts to sink in. And you know, we didn't go to Africa to try and change the world or to get involved in politics or come up with all the answers to the problems that are going on there. We just wanted to go surfing, and I don't know, sometimes that's enough, I think. We saw how surfing was changing people's lives in Africa. If you approach it in the right way, I think surfing has a lot to teach. It teaches you how to be humble and how to reset your focus on the simple things and the important things. I think it's always kept my brother and I on the right path. Just go surfing and everything will be alright.
I held this limp and around here like a dog. Then in comfort she arrived. Temperament and wisdom I ain't seen around my parts. She took my hand, then she sighed along.